Every great achievement in history, every innovation, every comeback, every transformation began not with action but with belief. Belief is the silent architect of success. It lays the groundwork for everything that follows. Without it, talent remains dormant, effort feels wasted, and dreams stay locked in our imagination. But with it, the impossible becomes possible. When you truly believe in yourself, you activate something powerful within, permission to try. You give yourself the right to dream boldly, to take risks, and to endure failure without being defined by it. Belief isn't just about confidence, it's about commitment. It's a decision to show up again and again, even when there's no applause, no guarantee, and no immediate result. Think about the people you admire most: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They weren't born winners, they weren't handed certainty. What they had was an internal voice that whispered, "I can do this, I'm meant for more." That voice. It came from belief, and that belief allowed them to keep going when others quit, to see opportunity where others saw obstacles, and to stand tall in moments of doubt. Belief also creates resilience. It helps you push through pain, rejection, and fear. It doesn't mean you won't struggle, but it does mean you won't give up. Because when you believe in your ability to grow, adapt, and improve, failure stops being final. It becomes feedback. More importantly, belief influences others. People are drawn to confidence, not the loud, boastful kind, but the quiet, steady kind that says, "I know who I am, I know what I'm here to do." When you believe in yourself, you inspire others to believe in you too. That creates momentum. Suddenly, support shows up, opportunities align, doors open. But here's the truth: belief isn't always natural. It's not always there at the start. Sometimes you have to build it like a muscle. Start small, keep promises to yourself, prove to yourself that you can follow through, even on the little things. The more you do this, the louder that inner voice becomes, and when doubt creeps in, as it always will, don't run from it. Confront it, question it, then remind yourself of every obstacle you've already overcome, every time you didn't think you'd make it but did. Let your past victories fuel your present faith. In the end, belief is the foundation because it affects everything else. Your attitude, your effort, your choices. Without belief, you hesitate. With belief, you act. And in a world where most people quit too soon, sometimes the difference between winning and losing is simply the decision to believe long enough to see it through. So, say it boldly: "I believe in myself." Because once you do, winning becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. If belief is the foundation, then discipline is the framework that holds success together. People often wait for motivation to strike, as if it's some magical force that will suddenly push them into action. But motivation is fleeting, it's emotional, it's unreliable. One day you're fired up, the next you feel like doing nothing. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll quit the moment things get uncomfortable. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It's the quiet force that keeps you going long after the excitement fades. Discipline means showing up whether you feel like it or not. It means doing the work when it's hard, boring, or inconvenient. That's where the real progress happens, not in moments of hype, but in moments of hard choices. The truth is, motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you finished. Every champion, every expert, every master of their craft knows this. They didn't become the best because they were always inspired. They became the best because they trained, practiced, studied, and worked even on the days they felt off. That's what separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs act when they feel like it. Professionals act because it's what they've committed to. Let's be clear, discipline doesn't mean perfection, it means persistence. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's choosing the gym when the couch is calling. It's turning off distractions and doing deep work instead of scrolling. Over time, these small decisions compound. That's how greatness is built, one disciplined day at a time. Here's the secret: the more you practice discipline, the less you need motivation. Why? Because discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. When you stick to your habits, when you see progress, when you realize you're getting stronger, smarter, or closer to your goal, that's when motivation returns. but now it's built on a stronger foundation. Discipline also breeds confidence. Every time you do what you said you'd do, you prove to yourself that you're reliable. You begin to trust yourself, and that trust becomes fuel. It reinforces your belief that you're capable of reaching your goals because your actions are aligned with your ambition. Of course, discipline requires sacrifice. It asks you to delay gratification, to choose long-term reward over short-term comfort. That's not easy, but that's also why it's rare, and why it's so powerful. When you develop discipline, you develop freedom. Freedom from excuses, from regret, from failure. In the end, people may admire your success, but they'll rarely see the discipline that built it. The early mornings, the late nights, the countless reps and relentless routines, but you'll know that your wins weren't luck or chance. They were earned, so don't wait to feel ready, don't wait to feel inspired. Just start, build the habit, stick to the process, because when motivation fades, and it will, discipline is what keeps you in the game. Failure, just the word can make your heart sink. It's uncomfortable, painful, and for many, something to be feared and avoided at all costs. But here's a powerful truth that changes everything. Failure is not the end, it's data. When you shift your perspective on failure, you unlock one of the most valuable tools for growth and success. Most people see failure as a final destination, a red light that says you weren't good enough. But high achievers, innovators, and leaders view it differently. They see failure as feedback, a source of information, insight, and opportunity. Every time you fail, the world gives you data. That data might reveal a weakness to strengthen, a strategy to improve, or a habit to change. It tells you what didn't work, not so you can stop, but so you can refine your approach. In that way, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. It's the classroom where experience becomes wisdom. Think of every great invention, business, or breakthrough. Behind it lies a trail of failures. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about those failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset turned obstacles into progress. It's not that successful people don't fail, it's that they learn from it and keep going. Failure also teaches resilience. When you fall and choose to rise again, you build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you're not defined by one bad moment, one mistake, or one rejection. You are defined by what you do next. Do you quit, or do you learn, adapt, and return stronger? And failure reveals character. It humbles you, it tests your patience, your grit, your belief in your mission. Anyone can keep going when things are easy, but to keep pushing after falling flat, that's where growth lies. The problem isn't failure, it's fear. Fear tells you that if you try and fail, people will laugh, that you'll look weak, that you'll lose everything. But here's the truth, not trying is the real failure. Playing it safe, hiding your talents, staying small, those are far more dangerous than falling short on the way to something great. So what if, instead of asking, "What if I fail?" you started asking, "What will I learn if I do?" That one shift turns fear into curiosity and defeat into discovery. In every setback is a seed of success, if you're willing to dig through the dirt and find it. So embrace failure, welcome the lessons, use the data, because the people who win aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall, learn, and rise again, with better tools, deeper wisdom, and unshakable determination. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's the information you need to find a better one. Success doesn't happen by accident. It begins with a clear picture of where you want to go, a vision. Without vision, you're just drifting, reacting to life instead of shaping it. Vision is what turns dreams into plans and plans into action. It gives your effort a purpose, your choices a compass, and your journey a destination. Think of vision as your internal GPS. You can have drive, ambition, and talent, but without direction, you'll waste time and energy moving in circles. A clear vision simplifies everything. It tells you what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. It eliminates distractions and sharpens your focus. With vision, every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to something meaningful. Vision creates momentum because it gives you a reason to keep going. When challenges come, and they will, your vision becomes your anchor. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you what's at stake. It pulls you forward when everything else is trying to hold you back. The most successful people don't just set goals. They have a vivid, emotional, unshakable vision of who they want to become and what they want their life to look like. They see it clearly, they feel it. They talk about it. They align their habits, environments, and routines around it. That clarity makes their journey powerful and intentional. Your vision doesn't have to be perfect or complete at first. Start where you are. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Who do I want to become? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? Your answers are the seeds of your vision. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Build your daily actions around them. And remember, a powerful vision isn't just about personal success. It's about impact. What difference will your work make? Who will it help? How will it inspire others? When your vision includes something bigger than yourself, it becomes unstoppable. It fuels not just ambition, but purpose. But a vision alone is not enough. You must protect it. There will be people who don't see what you see, who doubt your direction, or who settle for less. That's okay. Your vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Protect it from negativity, complacency, and fear. Keep it close. Revisit it often. Let it evolve as you grow, but never lose sight of it. In the end, your vision is your map, and without it, you're just wandering. With it, you're building a life by design, not by default. So define your vision, commit to it, and every time you wake up, let it remind you you're not just working. You're working towards something. Because in the game of winning, vision doesn't just inspire you, it directs you. One of the loudest voices you'll ever hear won't come from outside, it'll come from within. It's the voice that questions your worth, magnifies your mistakes, and whispers doubts in your quietest moments. That voice is the inner critic, and if you don't learn to silence it, it will control your potential, sabotage your progress, and convince you to settle for less than you're capable of. The inner critic thrives on fear. It says things like, "You're not good enough. Who do you think you are to try this? What if you fail and everyone sees? You always mess up. Why would this time be different?" Sound familiar? That voice can feel like truth. But it's not. It's not truth. It's a habit. A conditioned pattern built from past experiences, insecurities, or the negative words of others. And just like any habit, it can be broken and replaced. The first step in silencing your inner critic is to recognize it. Become aware of how it speaks to you and when. Does it show up when you're about to take a risk, when you're celebrating a win, when you're comparing yourself to others? Awareness is power. The moment you hear that voice, pause and question it. Ask, is this actually true, or just fear disguised as caution? And next, replace the critic with a coach. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone you care about. Be honest, but encouraging. Instead of saying, "I'll never get this right," say, "This is hard, but I'm learning and improving." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," say, "I'm growing and I bring value." Remember, the inner critic isn't eliminated by external success. You don't silence it by achieving more. You silence it by changing the narrative. If you don't, that voice will follow you into every promotion, every award, and every opportunity, trying to convince you that you still don't measure up. Silencing the inner critic also means choosing your environment wisely. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not those who echo your doubts. What you hear repeatedly becomes your internal dialogue. Make sure the voices around you reflect belief, not fear. And finally, act despite the voice. Courage isn't the absence of doubt, it's moving forward in spite of it. Every time you do something your inner critic told you couldn't, you prove it wrong. Every step forward weakens its grip. Over time, that voice gets quieter, and your confidence gets louder. Because here's the truth, you are not your thoughts, you are the one who chooses which thoughts to believe. And when you stop listening to the inner critic, you finally start hearing the voice of your true potential. So don't let fear disguised as logic hold you back. Silence the critic, feed the dream, trust your voice, because the only thing standing between you and greatness might just be a voice you no longer need to listen to. We live in a world full of promises, declarations, and social media, posts about goals, dreams, and hustle. Everyone's saying something, but in the end, what truly separates the dreamers from the doers is one thing: action. Words are easy, talking about what you're going to do is comfortable, it makes you feel productive without actually being productive, but action is uncomfortable, it requires risk, energy, and vulnerability. That's why it's so rare and so powerful. Let action speak louder than words. Let your work be your proof, your habits, your results, your resilience. Those are the real indicators of who you are and where you're going. You don't have to announce every move. You don't have to convince others. Just move, just build, just do, because action does what words cannot. It builds trust in others and in yourself. When you show up consistently, people notice. They may not say anything, but they're watching. They're seeing who follows through, who keeps showing up when the cameras are off, who's grinding in silence, and more importantly, you're noticing too. Every time you act, you reinforce your identity. You shift from someone who talks about doing it to someone who does it. And here's the secret: momentum favors movement. The more you act, the more confidence you gain. Confidence isn't built by saying, "I believe in myself." It's built by proving to yourself, day by day, that you can be relied on, that you take the steps even when they're small, even when they're hard. Think about the people who inspire you. It's not just what they say, it's what they've done. Their actions built a legacy. Their consistency, not their charisma, earned respect. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to be committed. This doesn't mean you can't share your dreams or speak your truth. But don't let talking replace doing. Don't become addicted to announcing the plan without executing it. Let the results do the talking. Let your progress be the loudest statement you make. And when you fail, as we all do, let your recovery be louder than your excuses. Let your bounce back speak volumes about your character. The world doesn't need more declarations, it needs more doers, people who don't just talk about change, growth, and success, but who embody it through daily discipline. So the next time you feel the urge to talk about what you're going to accomplish, pause. Ask yourself, what's the next step I can take right now to move forward? Then take it quietly, relentlessly, repeatedly, because real winners don't need to say, "I'm going to win." They show up, they work, they build, and before long, everyone else is saying it for them.